What if history as we know it is completely backwards? Imagine a world before 12,000 years ago, where civilizations like the Celts, Persians, Phoenicians, and others formed a global coalition, united by trade and peace. This is the Tartarian narrative, not a single empire, but a fragmented remnant of a lost golden age, shattered by a cataclysm and erased by conquest. Picture a world before the Roman Empire, before recorded history, where diverse civilizations formed a loose coalition. I'm not saying a unified empire, but regional faction, think Central Asia, Siberia, even parts of Europe and the Middle East, connected by trade treaties and relative peace. This coalition thrived with advanced knowledge, maybe even science we've lost. Then came the Younger Dryas, a sudden climate catastrophe around 12,000 years ago, possibly triggered by a comet impact. It disrupted early societies, leaving fragments like Tartaria vulnerable. Mainstream archaeology says no global civilization existed back then, and groups like the Celts or Persians came much later. But what if unexcavated sites, like Göbekli Tepe in Turkey, hint at a forgotten network? Could this coalition be the truth history hides? Fast forward to 1450, and we find the Fra Mauro map, a medieval masterpiece compiling traveller accounts from across the globe. I believe it holds clues to this lost coalition, showing cities in now desolate places like Siberia, names like Sepultura Imperial, Huangpu, Tinzu, and in modern Mauritania, places like Canal de Lozo or Reganu. These could be remnants of a pre-disaster world, possibly dating back thousands of years before Christ. Scholars argue these names don't appear in transcriptions, and Siberia was nomadic, not urban. They say African sites like Barara, recently rediscovered, belong to known Ethiopian kingdoms, not some faction of a much more global empire coalition. But here's the kicker. Barara was considered mythical until LiDAR and archaeology proved it real. What if other cities on this map, dismissed as myths, are waiting to be found? Could mainstream history be missing a bigger picture? What if the long-past wars we read about weren't just for land or religion, but part of a covert operation to erase a lost coalition's knowledge? Take the Library of Alexandria, burned in 48 BC and later, wiping out countless texts. Or the Roman suppression of Celtic Druids, whose oral traditions vanished. African kingdoms like Great Zimbabwe and Native American cultures had their histories dismissed as savage. I believe these were deliberate moves to subvert groups resisting a new global regime. Mainstream historians say these conquests were about power or faith, not a unified plot. But the pattern is striking. Every time a culture with ancient knowledge resisted, it was targeted, its stories erased. Could this be a millennia-long effort to control what we know about our past? Who carried out this operation? Groups like the Knights Templar, a powerful order from 1109 to 1312, and the Khazars, a 7th century Jewish Turkic state, might have played roles. Their wealth and influence let them navigate both sides of conflicts, adapting to shifts in power. Some say they preserved hidden knowledge, others that they helped suppress it. Could they be pillars of a secret regime controlling history? Critics argue their influence was regional, not global, and ended centuries ago. But their ability to infiltrate power structures raises questions. What if a hidden force, adapting to humanity's consciousness, has been shaping history for millennia, burying past legacy? Ancient myths offer more clues. Hindu texts, like the Mahabharata, describe serpent-like Nagas warring against godlike deities, hinting at a cosmic or historical conflict. Sumerian stories, like the Epic of Gilgamesh, talk of a great flood, possibly tied to the Younger Dryas. These could be memories of a collapsed coalition. But finding evidence is tough. Cataclysms like floods or comet impacts destroy traces, and survivors took millennia to rebuild. Mainstream scholars say these myths are symbolic, not historical, and no advanced civilization existed 12,000 years ago. Yet LiDAR is uncovering hidden cities, and myths like Atlantis or the Dogon star knowledge keep us wondering, what's been lost? The Tartarian narrative paints a picture of a lost coalition, shattered by the global disaster or flood, and erased by conquests, hidden by modern narratives. Mainstream history says there's no evidence of a global empire, but rediscoveries like Barara and suppressed folklore suggest gaps. Question what you're told. History might be hiding a golden age. What do you think? Share your thoughts below, and let's keep digging for the truth.